Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hey, folks. All right, I need my sound testers. How's my sound doing? How is my sound? Because you know the sound be tripping. Can you guys hear me? I hope this thing isn't delayed. Let me turn off my other thing here. Can you guys hear me? Hey, man, this chat playback is so slow. Jeez. Wait, what's my live chat doing? Okay, you guys can. All right, cool. Sorry, my trying to set up here. I swear there's not enough hours in the day sometimes. All right, so let me check in. How's everybody doing? Let me get my good little hellos in with all of you guys. If I skip your name, please forgive me. And I was on time today too. I just want y'all to know my phone says I can't tell if you can see, but it says 9 p.m. I'm on time. I just want y'all to know. What's going on? You can't see Hunter, Fat Girl Forever, Alexis Henry, Tyler Hackner, Miriam, Melody Nia, D. Bradford. Shout out to Oakland. Miss Jones, Janet Bennett. Janet, I like that name. J Law, Caleb Wims. Um, let's see, Alexis Henry. I think I said her already. Coffee with Cassie, Shawnee Barley, Victoria Qualls. I'm sorry. Oh, look, I'm prepared today too. Look, I don't need them yet, but I got. These are those ones that have like the reflective thing with the screen, so I'm not gonna wear it too much because I look crazy. But I'll use these when I actually need them. Let's see, Dina Newton. Hey. 2008 B Scott, BBL 78. Lady V, what up? Sun Queen. All right, I'm gonna scroll down because y'all are starting to fill up. So, let me see. A few more people. We'll start in like 1 more minute. Piano Kid, what's going on? I'm scrolling, so if I skip you, please forgive me. It's just me trying to get to the bottom. I feel like my live chat has such a delay. It's kind of annoying, but and it is what it is. I mean, maybe it's time for a new laptop. I don't know. This laptop has been through 2 albums, a web series, a bunch of documentaries, and all kind of stuff. Podcasts. Stefan Boykin, Joanne Blue, Tracy Scorpion. Hey. That's my Twitter buddy. Miss Pam, Desmond Maynard. All right, y'all. Those are my shout outs. Hello to everybody. Thank you, Shadow King. Look, all right, y'all already don't listen. Today, actually, I was gonna flip the script. I was gonna announce it later. It's cool if you donate, but you really don't have to. I was actually gonna flip the script. I said we'd do some trivia and stuff, so I was actually doing trivia for money today. So yes, have your cash apps ready for later on after we go through a few topics. Um, this would be pretty. This would be a little bit of a lighter live. We're still gonna cover a few heavy topics, but I wanted to just have a fun one, and I wanted us to just, we're winding down in the year, and it's always good to end on some good energy. So, all right. So, what I did want to start, because I feel like sometimes I just jump right into my topics. I don't really engage with you guys as much. My question for you guys before I jump into my topics is, what are you leaving behind in 2020? I know this sounds cliche, but really, in 2020, what are you hoping to leave there? Like, I mean, there's no guarantee that 2021 will be a perfect year because we were hyped to get out of 2019, and look what happened. But yeah, in 2020, what are you hoping to leave? Um, Somebody said, "Hey Tina Cance, shout out to DC." Thanks, Sam J. Somebody says they love my station head. By the way, look, station head is kind of lit. We had a good time. So again, you can follow me on station head. I have a show every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Somebody said procrastination. Somebody said anxiety, COVID. Yeah, look, Lord, I hope COVID is gone by like the end of the spring, so we can at least have somewhat of a summer. That would be really, really nice. Hopefully, debt. I support that. I've been fortunate that I haven't accumulated too much, but it's so easy to fall into debt these days, especially when the world is chaotic and you never know what's next. Um, let's see. Oh no, somebody caught COVID. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're still here though. Let me see. Somebody said I'm just gonna take it one day at a time and do the best I can. That's honestly the way to go. Like, you know what I mean? Old habits, yes, they are very hard to break. Um, let's see. Um, I'm leaving. Wait, my thing's screwed up. Dang, man. Hold on. Dang. Sorry, my thing jumped. In 2020, I'm leaving behind codependent behavior. Okay, independent on your own. I see you. A lot of you guys are saying COVID. Albert Old School said COVID. Homelessness. You know, can I tell you guys something that bothers me? Um, DC has a really high homeless population, and it kills me that for this to be, this is apparently the center of the free world. It kills me just how poorly I feel that a lot of the residents in DC that are homeless are treated. Like, man, especially like the people who have their tent encampments under in the underpasses and everything, and the way that the city every few months comes and they literally just scoop up everything and throw everybody's stuff away. Everything in that crap is so messed up. I understand people wanting to have optics and everything, but don't hide the optics. Like, what you're seeing is a reflection of the leadership in the city. So do right by the people. Don't try to cover it up and polish it. That's some messed up stuff. Um, let's see. Somebody said my stomach pooch. Listen, that's just grown adult weight. Let it come to you. Just be healthy. All right. I'm fighting hard to keep the little piece of a six pack I do have left. Leaving behind corporate America. Good for you. I heard it's a very draining world to work in. Money is good, but it's a lot of foolery. What's up, Cesar Julius? He said poverty. Somebody said bad energy, less drinking. I'm half and half with drinking. I don't drink a lot, but I do have a glass of wine every blue moon. It's rare, like once a month. I have one friend that I catch up with like once a month, and we get our little wine and just let loose on everything that's happened in the world. But yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't drink at all. Y'all know me. I like my tea and stuff. Somebody said Trump. I feel like we haven't seen the last of him. He's still gonna be around, and he's opened a Pandora's box of foolery that's probably not gonna go away, which kind of sucks. Somebody said my negativity. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Somebody said Black Woman Reed said poor eating. I started off so well in 2020, then you know who hit, and eating got out of control. Oddly enough, for me, it was the opposite. Before COVID, I was eating so much fast food and eating out, and then once they were like, stay in the house, and at first I was super terrified of stuff. You couldn't get me to leave this apartment, especially when I still thought I had the health condition. And so from March to maybe almost August, I cooked every day at breakfast, lunch. Then I was sick of washing dishes. And so my eating habits got a lot better. But then as I started to have to report back to work on site for different reasons, I started getting some of the crappy food again. But it is what it is. Um, it blows my mind that Kobe's going this year. Yeah, I'm going to get back to that one. Somebody said cancer, Trump, and COVID. Cancer is a scary one too. Both of my parents have had cancer at some point. My mom actually had it twice, and even when my father was sick, the medicine that he had for his lungs ended up giving him stage 1 in his lungs. So yeah, cancer is a scary one too. Um, all right, I'm trying to. Can you guys still hear? Somebody saying high definition said they can't hear. Do I need to turn my sound up a little bit? I can turn me up some if I'm too low. All right, I just turned it up some. So y'all didn't tell me that the last live was too loud. I played it back. I was like, dang, this thing is blowing up, like blowing at me on the phone. Um, Las Vegas has also seen an increase in homelessness. Tourism has been hit hard here. Yeah, I was just there in the summer. I had a lot of fun, but I know like places that are very tourist heavy, I know have been hit hard, like really hard. Um, Audio's low. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it up some more. What is my favorite wine? So I'm like a grandpa. I like all the reds. I like a nice dry red wine. Like those are my favorites. I like a Cabernet and I like a Merlot. I don't have like a favorite brand or anything. No, it's just kind of whatever looks like a good deal on the what you call it. Damn, let me turn my sound up some more. How do I sound now? I don't want to have it too loud because then it starts to blare. Is that better? Okay. Um, why am I so low? What the hell? I don't know. Test, 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 test. How does that sound? Better? Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Whew. Sound check for live. Okay, so let me jump into a few topics really quick, and then we'll kind of get into our shenanigans. My cousin Tiffany's gonna try to get on a little bit later and sing for y'all if she gets some time. So where do I want to start? Oh, I guess I should have answered my question. The things I said I would hope to leave in 2020. This isn't even about me. I just hate the word manifest. I heard that word so much. I'm like, please leave that word in 2020. I don't want to hear manifest ever again, ever again. But for me, I guess the two things. What did I write? I am terrible at second guessing myself in everything I do. And so I'm trying to work to not be that person that's insecure about anything that they put out. One of the flaws of being somebody who's constantly on the internet, as far as I have a really big internet presence, as far as like YouTube or the podcast or the station head or even the music and a lot of different things, I am one to second guess. Like real talk, when the last album was about to come out, the week before, I was like, I don't think I want to put it out. I don't think it's good enough. They're gonna be like, we hate it. I'm like, and I think some of it has to do with I don't know, I consider myself a perfectionist in some things. And so yeah, it's a lot sometimes. So that's the main thing, second guessing. Sometimes I don't have the confidence in a lot of things. I may come off very confident when I start talking politics because that's my lane, but a lot of times there are things I will either jump into or be asked to be a part of, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm okay, guys. So I get bashful all the time. You guys just can't really tell because by the time we get to YouTube or if I upload a video, I'm already polished and I've already written down my process and so on and so forth. The other thing was guilt for relaxing. I am one of those people who I feel guilty if I'm not doing something. And I don't know if that just comes from being in a household where I don't know. I just know back in the day, if my dad came home from work and me and my brother were lounging or relaxing, my dad would come and fussing. Just something about going to work and coming home and seeing people laid up just used to piss him off. So as soon as we'd hear the garage door open, we would just get up and even just walk around, just do something. Because my dad would be like, I know you ain't up in here laid up all day. And so even today, like I think because I work on so many different tasks and projects, and on top of that, I think YouTube is the main thing you guys see me on. I don't tell you guys everything I do, but this is like what you guys see me on, I guess, in the forefront. Um, Sometimes when I finally have a minute to just breathe and like slow down, I feel guilty. And so it's hard for me to relax. It's hard for me to like take a good nap, one of those nice 2 hour naps. I can't do it because it's like my heart be pounding. I'm listening to hear my phone notification go off about an email or something else. So I'm like, man, so I'm trying to leave that in 2020 and not feel bad for moments when I need to take a break. I started getting good at it. Like October, November, even September, I kind of, if you notice, I took a few little mini breaks where I took maybe a week and a half before I did a video just because I was like, you know what? I need a little time, just some me time. Plus, we talk about a lot of heavy stuff on here anyway. So sometimes you got to balance out the energy. Um, Let me see the comments on that before I jump into a few things. Somebody said New York City is a ghost town. Somebody said I'm so scared of myself. Um, I don't want to hear monolith again. Yeah, monolith is one of those words that get thrown around a lot. But for some reason, it's manifest. I heard that word so much, and I'm like, all right. Somebody said, what was my major in college? Well, when I got to Howard, I thought I was going to be a superhero and save the world because Hurricane Katrina had just happened. And living in a state where, depending on where you live, it's not as diverse. And so, like in my high school, I think there were 2 or 3 Black folks in my history class. And I remember us talking about Hurricane Katrina because I think it happened maybe a week and a half before school started. And hearing the commentary of some of my classmates just triggered me because it's like, a lot of folks were like, well, why didn't they just leave? They had plenty of time to get out. And I was like, but even if we had that conversation, let's talk about leaving people on their roofs for 4 and 5 days. Like, are you serious? And so I came in as a political science major, even though I'm one of those people that's indecisive. And so like halfway through, I realized I wanted to do something else. I wanted to work closer to music, but I was afraid of going into like a music program. Plus my parents were like, we ain't paying for you to dance around on the stage. You better get a real degree. And so I went into communications because it was the closest thing I could get in relation to like music business. And so communications with a concentration in legal communication is my major. Poli-sci was my minor. Scorpius Jones, you want to be a mod? I got you. Let's see. All right. So, geez, can we start off with Chicago? I literally just uploaded a video about it last night, but I still feel some kind of way. If you don't know, there has been a video that has been released, and this video is from February of 2019. And in this video, you have the police who pretty much go and they do a botched raid. It goes terribly. There was a woman who had just come from work. She's doing her nightly routine, getting ready to take a shower. She has on no clothes. Now, the police are getting ready to do this raid because they've received some intelligence from an informant that said that somebody who was 23 years old had all of these guns and ammunition in their apartment, and this is the person. And so, like I said in the last video, normally what happens when the police get intelligence on anything, what they're supposed to do, there's supposed to be that lane of intelligence and surveillance of follow-up where you sit out, you kind of stake out the place, make sure that your intelligence is correct before you act on it, because again, something like a no-knock warrant or a police raid with weapons can end very badly if it's the wrong information, if it's the wrong house, a bunch of different things. And so the intelligence is bad, and they bust in this woman's apartment. It's like 9 officers, I believe. I think 8 men and 1 woman. They bust into this woman's apartment. Of course, she has no clothes on. She's screaming hysterically. And, they're running and ransacking the apartment and tearing everything apart. And where is he? And because they're looking for the guy. And the woman is like, I don't know what you're talking about. You have the wrong place. And mind you, she has no clothes on, and not even underwear, literally nothing. She is standing, just everything out in the open. And she's standing there, she's crying, she's screaming. The police, of course, like I said in the last video, if you've ever been in a raid, unfortunately, it's chaos because it's hard to understand what's happening because the police kick the door in. It's a bunch of yelling and screaming. Everybody's talking. And I'm always like, look, y'all need to nominate one person to do the talking. The other 80 y'all be quiet and just move in silence. Let one person do the talking because it would easily make things a lot smoother in that process. But no, they all want to come in there and be superheroes and Power Rangers. So everybody kicking down doors and punching holes in the wall and stomping. And of course, they're super hard and slamming you down when they got to cuff you. And so they're doing all of that. She tells them 43 times, because this goes on for about close to 30 minutes. You have the wrong house. You have the wrong apartment. I don't know what you're talking about. I just came home from work. I'm a social worker. I actually work in the community. You got the wrong person. Can I at least put some clothes on? Because, they tried to put like a sheet on her, but of course she's cuffed. So the sheet kept sliding off. She's standing there crying, humiliated. And there is no regard for even the element of decency for this woman by those police. Like she's literally just standing there crying. 2 of the police leave and go back to the car. This is on the body cam. They go, they look at the warrant, look at the papers and everything. Something on the paper says something about, okay, do not initiate. Something, I forgot what the quote was, but it was something pretty much saying that everything is not 100% locked in, tread carefully. Pretty much saying this is not really, you don't have the clear to do this raid. Police still go back in there. And at this point, it's clear the police know they've messed up, even before they went back to the car to go look at the intelligence. I'm sure 5, 6, 7 minutes in, they knew they messed up because 1, they weren't finding anything in the apartment. And so, like I said in the last video, what often happens is now ego gets in the way. The police need some reason to justify what they've just done. So rather than just say we messed up, no, we're going to keep looking. We're going to keep intimidating this woman, interrogating her, asking all these questions. We're going to keep looking until we find something that we can charge her for, because at least no matter what we find, because we already had the warrant, we'll be okay. Even if it's 1 nickel bag, that's enough to arrest her. So, that's literally the move that they had going. And so they're in there forcing themselves to try to find something. Now, at this point, they've let her go and put some clothes on, but they still got her cuffed. And now she's sitting there trying to explain stuff to them. And then instead of just acknowledging that they're in the wrong, and mind you, like I said, they busted in her door. They also kicked open the back door, just making sure nobody ran out the back. It's Chicago in February. Chicago, the temperature in Chicago is just freezer during the winter. Chicago has some of the coldest winters. That wind and that wind chill, it's just freezer. It's popsicle. So imagine standing there initially with no clothes on and there's a draft blowing for 20, 30 minutes. Think of how cold your feet are going to get, the cold air hitting your back and everything. It's chaos. And so finally, the police all go outside. They turn off the body cams because, now they're acknowledging that it's some foolery, but, you don't want that piece on the body cam. So look, I don't know why they don't have it set up where it's illegal to turn off the body cams, or it should be set up where they can't turn off at all. But whatever. And so they go out there. Nobody knows what is said on the body cam video, but we do know that when the police do return, all of a sudden it's okay. We apologize and so on and so forth. And the worst part with all of it is while this woman was standing there screaming, crying hysterically and everything, they kept telling her, no need to yell. You need to calm down. You need to relax. There was no regard for her own state of mind. Because again, this is a traumatic experience. If somebody just busts your door in unexpectedly and you see guns and everything pointed in your face, you're most likely not going to have a calm and poised and tranquil response to bullets and gunshots and the threat of violence, especially in this climate where all you got to do is blink the wrong way and they're going to shoot you in the back 8 times. And so they finally acknowledge, okay, they've messed up. Now they have to try to, do the damage control. Now they're trying to fix the door that they've kicked in. They can't even fix the door back because they busted it because they were trying to hammer it. So they end up taking like a nightstand dresser, they push it in front of the door and use an ironing board. Those things weigh like 3 pounds, an ironing board to help hold the door closed, and then they leave. And so the city of Chicago pretty much tried to suppress it and keep this under the radar, just bury the story. And so the woman kept trying to get the footage. And of course, no, those are sealed. We can't give you that. We don't know what you're talking about. All that foolery, right? And so she ends up suing. Due to the regards and the laws when it comes to the Freedom of Information Act, she's able to get the footage and she sent it to the media. And then the crazy part is the night that the local station that I saw, it was like CBS. Chicago people, y'all can tell me what station it was, but I think it was a CBS affiliate. They're getting ready to tell the story and they're like, we just want y'all to know, literally as we were trying to tell this story, they were trying to get a judge to stop the sharing of this footage. The city of Chicago and the police department pretty much tried to file like a injunction with the federal court to get the footage to not be released. And so fortunately the woman lived to tell about it. But like I said on the last video, anything could have gone wrong and she could have become a hashtag. And there's just so much to be said about just how, again, people get pissed when you start calling out police. People get pissed when you call out the hypocrisy, the racism, and systemic racism within these policing departments. And the fact that a lot of these officers really don't need to be in the positions that they're in anyway. The lack of training that comes in, and the fact that, you go to your little academy for how long, next thing you know, you got a gun. And I just think about, even in my field of work, working with kids. Now, I've been in my job for about a decade now, and the amount of training we have to go through. We got a training for everything. Training for how to teach the kids to sit down. Training for how to teach the kids to cope. When one of the kids in my center died from a brain tumor in 2016, we had a whole training on, coping mechanisms and trauma and how working with families that have lost a sibling and how to manage and work with the siblings that are still there. We had to have, of course, first aid, had to have CPR, had to have training on how to provide snack, how to have training on how to recognize when a child is being abused at home, how to recognize if a child has depression, how to recognize if a child is being malnourished, how to recognize if the child has dyslexia, how to, like, training after training after training after, and I'd be like, God damn. But I mean, it helps. And so I'm like, what is the threshold when it comes to police? Because this was the fact that literally the person they were looking for lived next door. In addition to the fact that the person that they were looking for was already on trial for something else, had an electric monitor. And so had the police just done the research, looked in the system, they could have said, this person lives at this address. They're right there. You can find them at home right now because they can't leave. Would have been handled. They didn't even do the research on how to properly even do the raid. Secondly, I'm not a fan of no-knock warrants because, I think they lead to chaos, and that's how people get killed. Like I talked about Ayanna Jones, the little girl, 9 years old, shot and killed in her bed while they were filming the first 48. Because again, especially when the cameras are there, the police really got to give it to them. It's kind of like when you used to watch Cops. True story. A lot of the episodes of Cops back in the day were always in my hometown. They were always in Pierce County, Washington, or King County. So as a kid, I used to be excited to, oh, look, Mom, there's Kmart. We used to be so excited to see our little town on there. And it'd be a bunch of like meth head family drama. The brother slept with the sister and they burned the house down kind of episodes. But no, literally. But even then, like, you would just see the aggression. And I used to be like, is that normal? Is that what they're supposed to do? I'll always remember this clip I saw where they had the guy pinned on the ground and they're beating him in the ribs with the club. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop. And I was like, they can do that? But it's become normalized. Like, even when you watch a cop movie or a cop flick or something, you see the cops interrogate the person and they just beat them up in the room all day. And it's a part of the script and it's just normalized. And then finally the lawyer comes in and is like, hey, you can't do that to my client. And at that point, client is lit, busted, eye swollen, everything else. And so it's some foolery there. But again, like, city of Chicago, y'all tried it. They tried to hide the whole thing. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she's catching a whole bunch of smoke now. And it was funny because I mentioned it yesterday about how I was looking at her sideways and some people were saying, oh, no, she didn't know about it, blah, 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 blah. Now she's recanting that and saying, okay, we did have some intelligence on this and so on and so forth. So again, when you see the conversations of why people have had enough with the police, and this is one of the lighter stories, and this is just one of the ones we've heard about. Think of all the moments in the stories that don't get media attention, that don't trend on social media, that, don't get the attention from the activist groups and everything, because there are so many instances that happen. And some of this stuff, unfortunately, when people go to these lawsuits and everything else, the evidence has already been erased, just like in regards to her in this video. Had she not been able to get that footage, even if she would have sued, you're suing the city who is governed by the city, so depending on how things are set up, who knows how they would have pretty much scammed that case and pretty much just corrupted the evidence and thrown her case out. And sometimes the police are so bold, you end up having to pay something. They sue you or they charge you with something else. So even with Breonna Taylor's situation and charging the boyfriend with all these attempted murder and everything else for somebody busting up in your house, not in police uniform, not announcing themselves and kicking your door. And if I'm thinking somebody's breaking out, I'm gonna start shooting too. Like, man. And it's just the fact that nobody had any regard for just her. Like, how do you stand there and there's a woman that's hysterically crying for 20 minutes and you act like you can't hear her? You so busy trying to flip the couch pillow over looking for something. You so busy trying to convince yourself that there's something in there. You know you done effed up. You know you effed up and everything, but you're trying to save face. And so, well, we're going to find something in here. So keep looking. Everybody keep looking till we find something. And so I said this on the last video, but again, it reminds me of even like a Sarah Bartman, where you just talk about like the objectifications of Black women's bodies and how Sarah Bartman, if you remember, she was born in the late 1700s, lived into the 1800s. She was very well endowed. She had a very huge behind. And so she ended up being manipulated. I forgot the name of the person that manipulated her and kind of scammed her and had her set up into all kind of foolery. But she ended up being trafficked around human zoos. Because again, there used to be a thing called human zoos up until I want to say almost the 1930s, where pretty much they would always get Black folks or people from the continent of Africa, throw them in a cage. Sometimes they would shave the people's teeth to make their teeth look sharp and everything, put them in a cage with a few monkeys and pretend that they're feral. Make them seem like they're not human, make them seem like they're in their habitat when they're with the animals and, so on and so forth. And so she was constantly on display for years. And then even after she died, they didn't even let her be buried. Like Paris, France, we're talking to you, France, they literally had this woman stuffed and put on display at a museum. And for decades, people could come and see her dead body standing there stuffed as a mannequin. And so for me, the footage of that woman in that apartment, that's what I kept thinking of, because as she kept begging to say, can somebody at least put something on me? Can I put my clothes on? Can I do something? They would act like they couldn't hear this woman. The woman was not able to even put clothes on until the police knew they messed up. And I have a problem with that as well, because again, when you see the foolery and the double standards, when you see how they treat some of these other folks, I know some of you saw this clip. There was a clip that maybe it went viral a week or two ago. White guy with the police. They got him pulled over. He doesn't want to get out of the car. He doesn't want to listen. I don't remember if he had a gun or not, but he didn't want to do anything. And he told the police, listen, I'm not getting out the car. I'm not taking my hands off the wheel. As a matter of fact, I'm about to turn my car on and drive off. And the police officers, oh, please, no, don't do that, sir. Don't do that. We're begging you. We're begging. Come on, brother. Sir. The man's over here cranking the truck up. And the police, sir, please. I'm thinking like, man, because Philando Castile, he was sitting in the car and told the police, I have my weapon. I just want y'all to know. And before he could even do anything, the police officer already done shot him twice in front of the wife, in front of the daughter, a toddler. There's a 3-year-old who now has the memory of seeing her father shot in front of her. Something she'll never forget. And the saddest part in that video is as the girlfriend or the wife is crying about, her man being dead, the poor little girl saying, you don't have to cry, mommy. Like the trauma that Black people have to go through. There's no empathy from it. And this is why sometimes, even when we have like the conversation around allies, my guard is still up, because I just don't think people will ever understand until you walk in those shoes. And some people do have good intentions and are really trying to help, but they also want to police how you say things. They want to police how you approach things. They want to police the way you go about doing things. I caught a lot of smoke in April and May and June when I had my critiques about all the symbolism that was taking place. When all of the little Democrat politicians and when they were taking a knee in the kente cloth, I was like, that's nice, but that's not changing the policy. I understand that you recognize we're going through something, and that's cool, but symbolism is not tangible in that regard. In the same realm, people didn't like that I was very critical of all of the step shows and performances at all of these protests where, again, just because a police officer took a knee, all of a sudden people want to start doing a cha-cha slide. I'm like, no, taking a knee, that's symbolic. That doesn't change the system that officer works for. And as a matter of fact, that same officer taking that knee, if on that walkie-talkie, the person up top says, okay, pull out the pepper spray, we about to start spraying everybody, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to get up from that knee and start spraying. And so I got a lot of smoke from that because people are like, you're not being reasonable, or you're too... apparently I'm radical now. You're too radical. And I'm like, that's a trigger word as well. That's a word that's always used when people go against the status quo. You automatically are radical. And the usage of the term radical is used to purposely pull away any kind of validity from whatever argument is being made. If you can throw it in the radical box, same bubble. It gets treated in the same realm that something like the race card does. You know, if you say whatever you got on your mind, the minute, oh, there's that race card. Okay, the funniest thing, this has nothing to do with anything, but if you've heard my podcast, there's a 2-part episode when I talk about when I used to be on a bunch of different dance troops and we were competing for like this state competition, for like this hip hop competition. And so we ended up losing. We got like 10th place, right? And it was a bunch of like white schools that won everything. And so I was feeling some kind of way because all the judges were like 60-year-old white women. So I'm like, how y'all gonna try to tell me about what me and my folks do? And so I had said something, and one of the people on the team, this white kid, was like, I'm not gonna pull the race card today. I was like, that's because you don't have to. Like, get out of my face. But again, just going back to the woman, just the trauma of that. And how does she sleep at night? When something like that happens to you, every small noise, every small anything just gets you jumpy. When I had my run-in with the police for like 2 or 3 years, I'd be paranoid every single time there was a cop behind me. I just keep looking at the mirror, and now you're talking to yourself and you're telling yourself, don't do anything too out of the ordinary, and okay, try to look natural, but don't look too natural because then they're gonna think you're trying to do something. So play it cool, and I'd be like, Lord, please. Now fast forward, now I'd be ready, like, I wish somebody would pull me over. Actually, I don't, because they still like to shoot folks. But my first interaction with the police is that a taser gun pointed in my face. So that's the relationship that Black people collectively have with the police. And so again, when people want to bring up the conversation of good police, I'm like, the system is all corrupt. You can be a good person in a bad system, but you're still participating in that system. So boom, there's that. And just like when we're talking a system, apparently in that room, there were no good police. Where were they? I thought even at least the woman officer would have had some kind of woman-to-woman connection and understand what that must have felt like and say, okay, well, let's at least get her some clothes. Nah, she didn't even do that. And some people may say, well, that's more so because she would have been reprimanded by her peers. But then I'm like, there we go. A system that's in play where even if you're trying to be the good person, it goes against the grain of what's happening in that system. And it doesn't matter what you think. If you go against the grain of the system, you will be pushed out. That's literally what happens. We've seen a bunch of clips of police officers who've had viral videos cussing out other police about how stupid the system is and why they got to do better. And you watch all of them get reprimanded or get fired or get demoted or get kicked off of whatever, department they're on. On the flip side, a lot of these officers that we've seen shoot and kill unarmed Black people, beat up folks, so on and so forth, they get promoted. Why is Betty Shelby doing a training on police? Betty Shelby is the one, I can't even think of all the people was that Terrence Crutcher? I don't even know if it was Terrence Crutcher. That's the police officer that killed the man. It was on helicopter cam, and you saw it happen. And she feared for her life. And now, instead of her being fired, because, she went to trial, they let her off, not guilty. Now she's training the police. I'm like, somebody who literally killed somebody who went to seek help because their car was having trouble. You kill somebody, and now you get to train everybody else. That's a system. So the conversation of good and bad goes out the window because, a system doesn't have feelings. A system doesn't have interpretation of what you think is good or what you think is bad. All of that is some BS. By the way, it's so hard not to cuss on these videos. I'll be ready to get all the good ones. I want to get like the F word and mother. Man. But it's crazy. And so again, the city tried to hide the video. They tried to act like nothing happened. If they could, this would have gone under the rug. But hey, it blew up. And thanks to social media, everybody started to know about it. And the sheets are being uncovered. And again, this is not just limited to Chicago. This is every police department across the nation. Every last one. There's corruption in all of them. And that's why, again, when people started celebrating too early after some of the George Floyd related protests, I was like, y'all are missing the ball here. And I said what was going to happen. There was going to be these big giant marches with hundreds of thousands of people. And I was like, fast forward 5 or 6 months when we start getting to the conversation around policy and changing things. You're going to see a lot of those same people who had Instagram posts where I'm going to make a black square on my Instagram because I'm in solidarity. All of the solidarity soldiers, you notice the narrative has changed. They want you to shut up now. They don't like the way you're putting out your messaging. They want to reach across the aisle. We need to have a dialogue. I'm like, how much more talking we need to do? For those of you who have been following me since 2011, we've been talking for 9 years. So how much more conversation do we need to have? It's a cop-out. It's a way to continue to just be comfortable in a system that's screwed up. And so, again, best wishes to her. I hope she gets every penny, everything. Because, again, I said this in the last video. A lot of these police departments are so screwed up that they have 9-figure endowments just for lawsuit settlements. They already know they're going to be sued for everything. They got the money waiting. And that's one of the reasons why they're able to keep doing what they keep doing, because, they can just buy and pay people off. Yes, the money is great, but the money doesn't replace whatever happened to that person that's been killed. It doesn't erase the trauma. It doesn't erase, it makes people feel better about some things, but it doesn't change the fact that what happened will happen again. That's messed up stuff. It's kind of even like when you look at this little Kyle Rittenhouse kid that went and shot up all the people in Kenosha, how he literally is on camera coming, he goes across state lines, goes to a police brutality protest and starts shooting protesters. And the police literally see a kid with a gun go past him and get ready to arrest the wrong person. They saw somebody black. They think it's him. Let's go ahead and take him down. Wrong person. And then you keep seeing all these stupid news articles about his feelings. And, Kyle Rittenhouse is concerned about his image and he's so hurt because people think he's a murderer. I don't care. You wouldn't kill somebody. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You at 17 decided that, no matter what it was you thought you were going to do in life, it was more important for you to go and load up a weapon that was purchased with your stimulus money that your mom got. And you drive across state lines to a town you've never been to go and protect some business you've never went and shopped at. That was pretty much a business that was manipulated and put on the news as far as ownership. That business that burned down, they found the previous owner from before it got burned down and had him standing next to Trump. And Trump's doing this speech about, the protesters are violent, blah, 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 blah. And so you're not about to sit here and give me the feelings about some racist white kid that went and shot 2 people in cold blood, boldly, in front of the police. And the worst part is he felt that he was helping. He was confident enough to feel that he could go and shoot people in public and nothing was going to happen because that's how much coverage the police give to white supremacy. So foolery. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. And so you see the double standards because then again, I'm sure somebody in their right mind is digging, trying to find something on this woman right now. They're trying to find something on this woman that they can use and say, well, that's why they busted in her apartment. Who doesn't know their next door neighbors? I'm sure she knew the guy next door. I'll be honest. Whoever lives behind that wall, I'd have been in this building 6 years. I don't know who live over there. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't heard nothing, but somebody live over there. So again, you see a lot of foolery. I'm gonna pause for a second. Let me read the comments because I've been ranting for a good 10 minutes. Let me drink my little tea too. Goodness. All right. By the way, I might have to fry some of y'all up in the comments if y'all say something I don't agree with tonight. So I hope you trolls ain't here tonight. I got time today. I got plenty of time. All right. Oh no, it says that and she was a victim of sex trafficking as well. I haven't read about that, but geez, that'd be horrible if that's true. I'm scrolling down, so I'm gonna miss some of your comments, so forgive me. Police are the new Jim Crow. Honestly, Jim Crow never went anywhere. It's just always been here. It just elevated and evolved into new forms. You know what I mean? Just because a person looks like you doesn't mean they are for you. That's right, Victoria. Again, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And again, we had that conversation before. A lot of times they will put black people in spaces to be a mouthpiece for white supremacy, because if you can get a black person to justify or agree to the foolery, automatically it makes racist white folks and it makes white folks who are on the fence about how they feel better about those feelings they may have because somebody black aligned with them. That's why when you kept seeing, I know I'm always frying up Trump, but when you kept seeing his rallies, he made sure to have enough black people sprinkled in the audience, blacks for Trump. And you kept seeing that same dude with the 2 braids traveling from city to city. I was like, well, you know what? If y'all going to be paying people, at least you're going to have to mix it up some. He's on the tour bus. Every city rally I saw, he was right there. Yeah, blacks for Trump. I was like, that doesn't even sound like a name we would put together for a group. We blacks for anything. Black people, we black, but we don't ever go around saying we are the blacks for anything. That's how I knew that was some foolery. Somebody done bought that crap out. Let's see. Somebody said, looking back in retrospect, the show Cop should have never been on television. And I totally agree. That show, and even I almost want to say America's Most Wanted, I think, served its purpose to an extent. However, I think it played a role into that same narrative of certain people always being deemed dangerous. And when they would appear on the TV, even as it would show them doing the crime, when they would reenact, they got the really scary music and everything. And, when they show that mugshot, it'd be a little bit more pixelated than normal. So they're looking all scary and crazy in the mugshot that they're using. And that's what you got to go and look for. And so, me being like 6 or 7 years old, I would be terrified after watching that. And I don't know if you remember, back in the 90s, my parents had satellite TV in the house we lived in. But this was back when on satellite, you could only watch the same thing on all the TVs. And so their TV only had one remote, or the satellite box only had one remote. And so there were only 2 TVs in the house. There was a TV in their room and there was a TV downstairs. And it used to make me so mad when I was little because they would always leave the remote for the satellite TV downstairs. And it would always be after we done watched Unsolved Mysteries. And that one has the scary music too. Especially like the throwback 1991, 1990 episodes. Oh man, them things used to look real scary. When they would still have the gun that looked like they were robbing a stagecoach. I used to be so scared. My parents were like, go downstairs and get the remote. And I'd be like, I don't want to go down there because it'll be pitch black downstairs. They're like, go downstairs, get the remote, Michael. I'm scared. Get down there and get the remote. And then I remember I would sprint. I would jump down like 8 stairs at a time. That's probably why I was so good at track and got a scholarship, because I could do all the jumps. I used to sprint and get that remote and run it back upstairs. But again, with something like Cops and the imaging, it normalized the idea of police brutality being on TV. And it normalized the idea that just because somebody gets hit in the face with a club, it's okay because a cop did it. And so I think that played a role into some of the defense mechanisms that people have when they want to defend police. We've already had the conversation about how I said I think a lot of white Americans see the police as an extension of themselves. And that's why when you criticize police, a lot of them feel that you're criticizing them, because again, police, they're protecting that system that's in play that allows a lot of white Americans to be, advantaged. And so calling out that system makes a lot of people feel that they're being attacked, because of course, even in oppression, folks are going to center themselves in something that doesn't even relate to them on an oppressive end when they're the ones receiving the benefits of that oppression. Let me keep scrolling. It is a darn shame. I'll tell you that. They don't understand the trauma they cause us. They don't. And then you'll have people come in the comment section and tell you to get over it and so on and so forth every single time. It's like, man, somebody said when Calvin narrates a story, even when it's serious, the snippets of comedy seep out. Okay, true story. When it was my dad's funeral, because it was already a lot for a lot of us, for some reason, I don't know why, I just had everybody in the limo like cracking up the whole way there. I don't know what we were going through, because everybody was miserable that day. And then even when we got there, like we were on time. I was like, let's give a hand to Black folks being on time today. And for some reason, we were back there just dying. I was like, we're not going to walk into my dad's funeral laughing. Let's get it together, folks. But yeah, good times. Well, not the funeral, but good times with the family. Somebody said performative. Again, yes, the symbolism. I'm good on the performatism. Just leave it alone. I'm good on that. Caesar Julia said radical equates to you're not satisfied with the status quo. Exactly. And when you go against the status quo, they want to paint you out to be, the worst of the worst, and you're super crazy. Oh, yep, Tiffany. Oh, hey, cousin. Talking just like Kelly Loeffler and Reverend Warnock. You've noticed, like, as she's running for, her seat to keep in the Senate, every time she makes any kind of statement about Warnock, it's always radical left, extremist, socialist Warnock. There's terms they like to throw out there to, again, paint people who go against the status quo as radical, out of control. And I said this before, when you have the conversation about something like capitalism or socialism, the way that it's been taught to us, hold on, let me get my sip. The way that it's been taught to us, if you've been in K-12 in the American public school system, capitalism was presented to you as a codependent element of democracy. So democracy and capitalism were intertwined together, and you have to have both in order to have American freedom. And that's what we were taught. And on the flip side, something like socialism is presented as this, they merge it and mutate it in there with communism and throw in Kim Jong-un and talk about, Stalin and all of these other different people and Mussolini and all these other things. And they always will find a country that wasn't wealthy enough to support the people and use that as the example of what America would be if we went socialist, and it'd be worse than the Great Depression. Meanwhile, people have selective memory of what they want to associate as being socialist. Because again, even when we have a conversation around stimulus checks, I 100% think that people need more than what they gave us. I'll get to that in a second. But some of the main ones who are out here ranting and raving, socialism, socialist, blah, 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 free daycare is socialist, healthy food programs that are free for the people, that's socialist. They're all in line waiting for that stimulus like everybody else. You know what I mean? When the economy crashes, people want the government and the presidents and everything to do something to make more jobs. That's a socialist way of looking at things. But again, people have been indoctrinated into this idea of American exceptionalism, and that everybody else in the world did everything wrong except the United States of America, because we're the best. And everybody wants to take our freedom because all of the other countries are enslaved and they have dictators, and it's miserable. And so we are the only country that's free. We're the only country that's free. And that's literally what you've seen some politicians use in their platforms. They're going to take away your freedom. What freedom? What, please explain, what are you losing? Please make it make sense. And so even when you see other countries that have better systems that operate, because a lot of countries have like a balance where there's some elements of capitalism, there's elements of socialism, there's an element of a bunch of different things, and they figured out what works for the people. Some people in this country see that example, like, oh no, that's communism and socialism, blah 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 blah, and they'll go dig up some random article from some bootleg website about how that system screwed over 10 people and use them 10 people as the example for all 30 million people that live in that country. Foolery. I hope that lawful lady loses. How are you worth $500 million and you want to run for Senate? You have no reason to be in office, because at this point, unless, like, and that's the other thing. For some reason in this country, when people see somebody that's wealthy, they automatically assume they're best fit to be in a position of power. When in reality, a lot of the wealth that has come into this country has been inherited from oppression to begin with. A lot of your favorite rich people, minus the new money folks, a lot of them came from old money. Old money all the time is always tied back to oppression. It was interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen, it's on I think it was on CSNBC. It was like Empires of New York. It was like I think the last episode came on tonight. I'm gonna watch it after I'm done with this. Oh no, it comes on tomorrow. They did an episode about some of the wealthiest people in New York. So like Donald Trump was on there. They talk about Rudy Giuliani as he was climbing into his way to becoming like mayor and all the other crap. But they just talk about how a lot of the people who were, these 9-figure wealthy folks, their wealth already was established because they came out of a family for money and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm going all off topic here, but it's fine. Somebody said, I pray she can get regular therapy. Me too. And it needs to be free. Somebody said I was crying watching. That was a very hard video to sit through. I turned it off after a few minutes and just watched the news report because I'm like, I'm not about to sit and watch this for 30 minutes. Did you guys see the young woman who had on a hat that, where's some glasses? All right. Okay. Did you guys see the young woman who had on a hat that had profanity on it, and the pilot, white, told her to remove her hat, which she did, but he wanted her to repeat back to him, I won't put it on. See, that again, conversation of power dynamics. Folks always, that's the other thing. People think they own us. Can we be honest? People think they own our opinions, whatever it is that we put out, how we present ourselves. We can't even have our own emotions. They want to tell you, don't be emotional. You're overreacting. That's the kind of stuff. I would have fried that pilot up. Like, okay, see, I've been fortunate that I've never had a bad experience on a plane with somebody crazy because I have time. I have plenty of time. And I'm quick on my feet, so I can fry somebody up real quick. Let's see. I'm going to keep scrolling a little bit. Somebody said, yes, it was Terrence Crutcher. Thank you, guys. I was just trying to make sure. The sad part is that there's so many names and so many victims. It's almost hard to keep track because there's been so many. And again, those are just the ones that have the publicity, have the outrage, that have gone viral. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Oh, now y'all are encouraging me to cuss. Don't be look. I'm trying to be a better person. Dina said, tired of talking, and I'm telling you, people are gonna get tired of the conversations. All right, people eventually people reach a breaking point. So keep playing with folks. Somebody, Black Women Read, said we've been talking for 400 years, and then they want to monitor how you speak. They want to monitor all of it. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Somebody said, did you see Black Lives Matter raise 10.6 billion, and the white organization is controlling the money and considers 170 million would resolve the water issue in Flint? Like I said a few lives ago, I am not a part of any organization for pretty much that exact reason. I don't know if that, I'd have to go back and double check that figure. That's a lot of money. 10.6 billion? Is it specifically just Black Lives Matter, or is it like 10.6 million has been donated all in causes relating to police brutality? Somebody see if they can find like the article to that. I'll kind of go back and review it. We can talk about it another time. But like I said, I don't do organizations. I don't. Like, I think how I can best contribute. One, I share the information on platforms like this, and I just do my part within my community. My priorities are my community center and the neighborhood that it is in, and then the neighborhood I live in. I do what I can with that, and I keep it there. I think sometimes when you try to have these big, giant movements that are not really centralized, that's where you see a lot of discrepancies. And again, my beef with something like a Black Lives Matter is that it's become like almost a brand that's just profitable and it's fashionable and you can wear it on your clothes and, make a statement and you go do a photo shoot and all that. So I think initially I haven't really kept up with them. And really for me, even a slogan, I just feel like sometimes it feels like you're trying to dig in appeal to the emotional aspects of white America. And I don't think white America collectively has that. So why waste your time to say I matter? I don't, because to be honest, to white people, I don't care if I matter to you or not. I'm good. Like, I'm not living for your standards. Like, I live in a world that I've created for myself, and we can coexist in the same space, but I'm not living for your approval or for your recognition or anything. I'm good. Like, there is nothing you have that I want. So, you know what I mean? Maybe some wealth, but other than that, so that's another conversation. I'd have to come back to it. I'm not researched enough on it to give a full opinion. Um, wow, let me scroll down. My comments are freezing for some reason. Okay. Um, let's see. Exactly, it makes a difference. Okay, I think I skipped a lot of y'all comments. I'm sorry, forgive me. I just got to keep moving because we'll be on the same topic for a million. Um, Somebody said, but is that the OG creators' fault? Again, I'm not researched enough to know all the origins. I don't even know if all the same people are even still in charge. I think again, the initial idea behind it, I think, was made with good intentions. But again, this is that conversation around allies, and when some people get into positions of power that don't need to be there, things kind of get shifted. I think I said this before. There was a situation. I think this was after Mike Brown happened, and there were a bunch of protests around the country. And there was supposed to be a protest. Either it was in the Bay, I want to say it was in LA. And so the organizers of this protest, this was kind of one of the let's all come together, all races, kumbaya, we can do this, come together kind of marches. And one of the leaders in that march sent out a memo to everybody saying, listen, this is not going to be a Black Power rally. We're not doing any of that. This is about police brutality, and that's where it stops. And I'm like, see, that's a very naive approach, because honestly, police brutality is rooted in anti-Blackness. You know what I mean? Because no disrespect, but collectively, white people aren't pressed about police brutality in their own community. That's why you never see any of their people, because white people are victims of it as well, but you never see any of their stories going viral, or you never see them out in the streets marching, because collectively, they're not burdened to operate as a monolith, even though I just said we were tired of that word. They're not under a burden to operate collectively. They don't have to. We do, unfortunately, because even if we see things differently, the system we live under treats us all the same way. It doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter what you have, where you come from, who you think you are, and who you think you might become. All of that doesn't matter from the outside looking in. You're Black. And I'm happy to be Black. I wouldn't want to have it any other way, but that's the reality. Okay, I want to move on from this subject because we'd be here all day. All day. All right, let me read a few more comments. But I'm not saying don't support organizations. I would say just really do your research. I just think really your best bet to having more of an impact is working with local organizations in your area, in your city, local. Like one of the groups I really support in DC, there's a Guns Down Friday group that's based in DC, and they do a lot of different activities. You should check them out. I think their Instagram handle is Guns Down Friday. But they do a lot of different events. They do backpack drives, food drives. A lot of times when unfortunately there's, crime within the community and a kid or somebody gets shot, they're there to support the families. They raise awareness. They help to raise funds for funeral, like stuff like that. I can support because it's local. You're seeing the impact right away. Some of these big, larger corporate influenced agencies, you don't know where your money's going half the time. And then the overhead that has to be covered and all the people on the staff and marketing and all the other stuff. I support the homegrown down roots. We meeting in my mama's garage, and I got some pamphlets. And if you can take this block, and I'm gonna take that block. I tend to support those kind of movements a little bit more. And like I said before, I don't know what live it was. I said like we can make the most impact just taking care of home. Take care of your community. You know what I mean? Simple things. You know what I mean? If you are retired and you have a lot of ample time on your hands, start us after COVID is over, have a moment in your garage where I don't know 3 or 4 kids from the neighborhood can come to your house to get tutoring. Simple stuff like that really does make a difference. If you know that there's some kids in the neighborhood who, because of course they keep cutting funding from the schools and the music programs are canceled and theaters canceled and everything. If there's some kids that have aspirations to do music or something, maybe you and some of the people in the neighborhood put money together to help them get that saxophone. Simple things like that, I think sometimes carry more. When you want to have the larger organizations, I think their purpose is more so for policy change. And I think what happens is the movement, the energy is there, something gets lost in the shuffle, and then it's foolery. So again, I'm somebody who really believes in taking care of everything locally and building that way. And again, you can still be in solidarity with whatever movement, even if it's not in your hometown. That's just where I'm at. I just see the impact in that area that we've been working in with like my center and everything, and just that specific neighborhood, even though it's only a neighborhood of like 400 people, I've seen this is generation 10 that I'm working with now. Like 10 generations of high school seniors graduate, either going into like a job corps or go to college or go to a trade school or vocational school or, travel. Like you're seeing the impact, just that alone. And so I think sometimes that honestly can do more than, you trying to be on every night show every Tuesday. You already know they're going to have you on MSNBC this day. You're going to be on CNN that day. They're going to have you on the panel. They're going to put you on Fox News so you can argue with the racist person. And then you two go back and forth for 50 minutes. And then out of nowhere, there's a good talking point that goes viral. And now you're trending. That doesn't really get anything anywhere, but it is what it is. Okay, so moving on. Where else was I going? Somebody was asking me, my notes are all over the place. The situation with Kobe Bryant. And if you didn't know, like Kobe Bryant's mother-in-law is suing Vanessa Bryant. Pretty much some conversations around the estate of Kobe Bryant and what's left. And I haven't read all the details because I wasn't too pressed. But pretty much from what I understand, the mother feels that she should be getting something, and that it was pretty much the job of Vanessa and Kobe to take care of her and so on and so forth. My response to that mother-in-law is, one, you weren't married to Kobe. You're not entitled to anything, and I think that's an issue I have as well, like where people feel they're entitled to somebody else's wealth. That wasn't you running up and down the court messing up your knees, all right? That was you on the sidelines watching. And again, you were the parent of the wife. And the fact that your granddaughter has died, your son-in-law has died, and you're over here filing court junctions because you're trying to figure out the money. That's an issue I have. There's another conversation about lineage and generational wealth and stuff like that. I'm not even going to engage in it right now. But again, like, no, you ain't supposed to get anything. If low key, if Kobe's family wants to meet her in the parking lot, I support it. I ain't even going to lie. Like the nerve, like literally your grandchild has died and you worried about the money. And honestly, if you're going to be somebody who wants to become wealthy off the backs of somebody you're related to, you could have built a brand off Kobe's name before he died. Like there's a bunch of people who tend to be related to a celebrity. Maybe they're the brother or the sister or the sibling or the husband or the wife or the parent or something. And they go and they build something else out of just relation because they can use the name. So like Jada Pinkett's mama, a lot of us never really knew this woman. I think the first time I saw her was that picture when she was on the beach. I was like, yo, that's Jada Pinkett's mama. That's Jada's mama? Oh, okay, Miss, I don't know her last name. But like, she kind of built her own brand that way. And then Red Table Talk, or Keisha Cole's sister, I think, has something that she's kind of created. Or a lot of people who tend to be related, they'll use the leverage that they have with the access to celebrity to build something for themselves and then build it from there, right? So why are you riding somebody's coattails? Or LeVar Ball, that's a perfect example. He had his career and then he worked to make sure his sons would all be well off, and not only well off, but able to do for themselves in the realms of generating their own wealth and letting that add to that pool of generational wealth he would have already established for his family, so on and so forth. Like, man, I'm over this crap. I swear, she's trash. I'm sorry. And then the last thing, well, it's not the last thing. Somebody asked me, was I out there when the whole little Proud Boys, they had like 2 rallies in DC in the last month? Was I out there? No, I wasn't out there. And again, a group like that, they live and thrive off chaos. They don't really know what they're fighting for, because they're not really fighting for anything. They're just fighting for the idea of holding on to white supremacy, the idea of staying in power. And for them, somebody like Trump being pushed out of office makes them feel like they're losing everything. And even that has nothing to do with America. It has nothing to do with freedom or politics. That's more so allegiance to Trump, because at this point, Trump has nominated himself to be the face of white nationalism. And so there's no point in going out there trying to constantly counter protest, because they want you to go out there. They're already out there with knives and everything waiting. And so rather than shift your energy to that foolery, let the little racist people have their rally and go home. And you deal with it in another room, because like, honestly, that group is trash anyway. I saw the bit about them vandalizing like the black churches. I was like, you know what? This is why when we have those conversations about evangelicals, I'm always on the fence, because it seems to me every single time that black spirituality gets stepped on, all in the name of white, whatever they want to worship. Because again, for me, I think a lot of evangelicals aren't really even spiritual like that. For them, God is whiteness. You get mad all you want, but really that's how I feel. A lot of them, it's whiteness. Like, and that just seems so symbolic of just what you've seen in the past with like the church bombings and everything else that has happened in the past, or even the Charleston 9. There's an energy that's always directed at the black spiritual realms when it comes to white aggression. Black churches are always a target. Black mosques are always a target. Um, and so you keep seeing that kind of foolery. I was like, the fact that and they knew this was a church. They knew it was a church. Well, the one I saw, by the way, I was just at that church 2 weeks ago. If you guys who follow me when I was making the post about DC Restaurant Week, when they had the kickoff for the event, they had it right there at Metropolitan AME. And so I was just there like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so it was almost triggering because like the same garden that they jumped in was stepping on the flowers and ripping up signs. I was like, I had just been standing there doing like an interview 3 weeks ago. I was like, wow, it's crazy. And mind you, that I want to say is one of the oldest churches in the country. It's an AME church. I think it was 1894. Can't tell. But I've always had a respect for that church because they actually do things in the community. You know, there's a conversation about some churches that just be scamming and taking everybody money and they don't do nothing. And the pastor got the nicest car in the world and private jets and everything else. But there are some people who actually, you know, work within the churches and actually do community work and are actually there for the people. But no, just seeing them go, and that wasn't even the only church. There was another church on the other side by Nat Stadium. They went and vandalized. They saw the Black Lives Matter sign. They ripped that down and set it on fire. And I'm like, well, what is your actual messaging? You know what I mean? Because then when you confront those same people on the street when they're by themselves, oh no, it's nothing like that. This is just about, you know, making sure we come together. You know, America's under attack, and you know, we really have something against people who hate America. They got every excuse in the world. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, when it comes to that conversation with evangelicals, I'm like, I don't have the energy for it. And for them to be so spiritual and close to God, literally every policy that they support is always anti-people, is always anti-health, anti-life. For them to be so pro-life and everything else, they have no problem letting people get pulled off of food stamps. They have no problem with the police shooting and killing folks. They have no problem with discriminatory practices in the healthcare system. All that's fine. They tell you to get over it. So I'm gonna move on. Geez, I'm gonna not have a voice in the next few minutes. I didn't read the comments. Let me see where we're at. Yo is a troll. Well, yo can stand here and learn something. How about that? Let me see. Hey, Raywin, what's going on? Beth Jane. Oh, you're in DC. I remember you. She needs to dust off that resume. I'm not sure who that's. Oh, that must be about Kobe's mother-in-law. Okay. Let me see. Serenity Joy said that's disgusting. That's his mother-in-law. I know it's trifling, right? Doing that to her own daughter, and then you do it to your own. You're suing your own child. Your own child. Who does that? Like, goodness. And sometimes you gotta. I hate to be that person, but sometimes when it comes to some family members, you just gotta put them in a box over there and just leave them there. You can love them from a distance because some family is just all over the place. Oh wait, I forgot I'm supposed to use these things. Okay, I feel like an old man wearing these. All right. Scrolling. Thank you. Somebody said mother-in-law better learn how to snatch that social security check like everybody else's grandma. I don't even know if she has a work history. I don't know her experience or what it is, but clearly she's been riding the coattails of Kobe. She probably doesn't work. You know what I mean? And again, you getting wealthy off black talent and you didn't do anything. All you did was sit and watch from the sideline. Yo, you still trip? What's here? I don't have time. Yo, you can get. Listen, I don't have the energy for it. Boom, go on somewhere with that foolery. We ain't doing that tonight. Be pissed off. You know what I mean? If you had something to do, you wouldn't spend all day trying to argue with black folks because you feel some kind of way. So you decided to show up on my live and try to shake the table. Unfortunately, that doesn't really work over here because nothing gets under my skin. No, it's Vanessa's mom, Nancy Drew. It's not Kobe's mom. It's Vanessa's mom. All right. I'm out of breath for some reason. I've been ranting and rambling, huh? It's already been an hour. I'm gonna do a few. I have a lot more stories written down, but I'm gonna skip some of them because I want to do some other stuff today. Because I said we would do trivia. I think my cousin's on deck for y'all as well, so I want to do a few other things too. Somebody did ask me my 2 cents about Tyrese. You know, he was saying his bit in relation to COVID and how, you know, the reason he hasn't got COVID is because, you know, when he goes to sleep, he sets his thermostat at 90 degrees, and he's been doing that for years. Okay, if you say so. I mean, we just came out of summer. It was 90 degrees in a lot of places, 100 degrees in a lot of places. Everybody in this country doesn't have air conditioning. There's a lot of people in the Midwest and in the mid-Atlantic and in the South who don't have air conditioners, and you know they go to bed and it's 150,000 degrees outside. You know, if you've ever been in a house with no AC and you got to crack one window on one side of the house and crack a window on the other side and get that cross breeze growing, like, or going, like, yeah, okay, Tyrese. Reminds me of my freshman year at Howard when I still lived in Drew. And at the time, Drew Hall did not have air conditioning. And so when it was hot, everybody would always open their door and their window. And then the person across from them would open their door and their window. You get that cross breeze going. Like, we learning to work as a community. We didn't even realize we was learning something at Howard. We was just hot, trying to cool down. They got air conditioning now. But I like it cold when I go to sleep most of the time. I don't like it too cold. I like just a little chill. But I know he's that them sheets and his comforters be just soaked when he wakes up. Like, geez, Tyrese he got a lot going on, but whatever. And then somebody was asking me my thoughts. There's another Whitney Houston biopic coming out. Can y'all let Whitney rest? I think we've had like 15,000 Whitney movies at this point. Like, if you're gonna do a Whitney movie, can this be the last one? And just do it right. I still feel some kind of way about that hologram tour they did. I thought that was in really, really poor taste. It's just like, and with the estates, it's like, how much do y'all really need? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these celebrities that have passed on, whether it be Michael or Prince or Whitney, they've accumulated so much wealth and death. It's like, do you really still need to keep building and adding more? Like, I think it's fine to keep the legacy going, but sometimes I feel like a lot of it is a cash grab. And again, I told y'all, Pat Houston is somebody I ain't ever really trusted. Something about her just rubs me the wrong way. I thought it was messed up that they had all of Whitney's family on a reality show like 2 months after she died. I think that was on Lifetime Network, I think. I just felt some kind of way about that. And even having Bobby Christina on there, and then Pat was like, oh, well, I let her have a little drink on occasion, as long as I can monitor. And I'm like, oh, Lord, this girl is in grieving with her dead mother, and here you go over here supplying the liquor. Okay, so yeah. Somebody said I want a Well Done Aaliyah movie. I think she needs a real one, because that crap Wendy Williams did, somebody ought to, like, man, that was trash. And I felt bad for Aaliyah fans. I was like, listen, that's y'all Jackson 5 American Dream project right there. That is your What's Love Got to Do with It until somebody else picks up a project. You guys already know the biopic that I want. Phyllis Hyman. Oh my God. We're working to make it happen. Oh, by the way, let me do some promotion for this author really quick. Hold on. Let me go grab, let's see. Here we go. By the way, speaking of Phyllis, this right here, if anybody's interested, this is by Jason A. Michael. He actually reached out to me on Instagram too, which is pretty cool. But this book here, all right, Strength of a Woman, it is the autobiography, or it's not autobiography, but it's the biography of Phyllis Hyman, or the story. I haven't started it yet, but this is going to be my project when I go on vacation. So if anybody's interested, I know I'm always telling y'all about books that I never even talk about after I mention them, but eventually we'll get to it. So shout out to Jason. I'm going to read your book, bro. Okay. A few more things, and then we're going to shift gears here. I don't care about Young Money. I don't care about that either. The stimulus. Oh, yeah, that foolery. So we kind of talked about it on the last video, but again, like I said, you got too many people in power that are really not about the people. And so as the people have suffered, and you've watched people be foreclosed on and get evicted, and some people were saved by the fact that some cities had ordinances where you couldn't evict until a certain time period, so on and so forth. But now you're seeing even those be lifted. You're seeing unemployment benefits in for some people after December 26th. You've seen just all kind of cuts to different social programs, so on and so forth. And even after all of that, the best they could do for you was $600. That's not even half of rent in any city, I don't think, to be honest. Like, at this point, I think it's hard for you to find an apartment for less than $100 or $1,100 in any city at this point, at least a metropolitan city. Maybe in the areas that are a little bit further out, it's still possible, but $600 is a slap in the face. It really is, especially when they gave that first care package and they gave so many billions to these large corporations that ended up using a lot of the money to give bonuses to their execs, not support to the staff on the lower levels, not, maybe money into a bucket where they could lower the prices on whatever service it was they were providing. But no, it was, okay, let's make our execs even richer. And so you watched a bunch of billionaires become even richer during a pandemic. You watch some companies just grow to a massive size where it's like, wow, they could literally be their own country. Some of these companies make so much money, they have a higher GDP than some countries around the world. And so to watch Congress stay gridlocked and go on vacation and leave and come back and go on vacation. And then while they're doing all this, they keep lying to you and giving you these stupid talking points. You'll get Mitch McConnell out there. What the American people want is they want a fair election. So we're going to focus on the election first. And then after we'll see. We'll see. What do you mean we'll see? I mean, people ain't made rent in 3 and 4 and 5 months. You talking about we'll see. How about we'll see you get out of office? Unfortunately, he still got reelected. Kentucky. Look, can somebody go do some research? Since everybody thinks everything is a fraud in the election, can somebody just make sure that he actually won? I'll sleep better at night. I'm just saying. But no, I've like I said, I rock with maybe 4% of the people in office. Everybody else, flush them out. It's too much foolery. It's too many people that they're not there for the people. A lot of them are there for their own interests. It helps to build their wealth and the wealth of their families and whatever corporation they work for. Like, if you want to see how bought out your politicians are, just go and see who's donating. Who are their biggest donors? What corporations, what companies, who's donating to the campaign? Until you take politics or you take money out of politics, there's going to always be corruption. I don't understand why you can't have like a not super, but I don't understand why you can't have a system where in politics, especially with campaigns, like the money's not regulated. Like in my ideal world of politics, especially when people run for president or a governor or a senator or anything like that, I feel like the state should allot a certain amount of money to each candidate. Everybody gets the same thing. Nobody's allowed to take donations. Nobody's allowed to take any corporate gifts. You get this certain amount of money that's designated to you by the city or the state or the federal government, and that's it. Everybody gets the same playing field. Everybody's given the same opportunity for a debate stage, rally support. Everybody gets the same thing. So that way you can't buy out people. That way, when people get into office, they don't have to sit here and go and meet all of the demands of all of these corporate donors who have given to them along the premise of, we'll give you this much money, but you got to make sure that you never outlaw, I don't know, cigarette companies marketing to teenagers. You have to make sure you never outlaw that. You can keep getting some money. Take that crap out of the system. It helps. But again, just like Julius Caesar said, that capitalism, that's how it's set up and that's how the system is built. So it kind of, I guess that would be socialist, wouldn't it? Let me be quiet before the government shuts my live down. YouTube has been trying to get me out of here lately. Ever since that Kyle Rittenhouse video, YouTube has been frying me up. It's like my videos aren't popping up in the algorithm the same way anymore. Like, okay. And YouTube is like doing a scrub of like inactive accounts and stuff. So I'm just watching my subscriber count drop by like 100 a day. I'm like, ain't nobody mad with me like that. That's y'all, but okay. Okay. I'm going to shift gears here because I told you guys we're going to do some fun stuff. We can, because I said I was going to give away some stuff today. By the way, y'all see my Christmas tree in the back? I took that out of my grandma's house. Remember, like some people back in the day, there were those big, well, they weren't big, but it was like the porcelain glass trees. So when I was little, my grandma, one of her friends made that tree back there. And I used to be obsessed with it. So after my grandma passed, that was the only thing I wanted out of her house. I was like, just let me get the tree. Now, I'm about to unplug it in a few minutes because that tree is older than me. I'm afraid it's going to start sparking because I don't trust the wires. But, yeah, rest in peace, Grandma. Love you. Hey, Tiffany, you ready? You want to get some tunes? Because I'm going to let my cousin Tiffany do some singing. I might just do some back and forth because I didn't talk too much and messed up whatever little pocket I did have tonight. But I might fall in. So I'm going to do some trivia. The trivia is going to go this way. So I have designated a certain pool of money to donate today for people who get correct answers. And so how it'll set up after we do Tiffany's bit is, I ask whatever question it is. I just want to say this in regards to the live chat, even though we're all on different internet connections and sometimes stuff comes in delayed, the order of comments is going to be the same across the board when they come in. So even if you put in a comment, I may not have seen it yet, but it's still going to be in the same order with that lineup. So you don't have to worry about, I will, everybody who has the right answer who is first, you will be first based on the list. So if you feel like you got gypped, you didn't get gypped. It's there will be a delay because of the live chat, but everything is sequenced in the right order. So you don't have to worry about the system screwing you guys up. Hold up, Tiffany, let me hit you up. I was going to FaceTime you, Tiffany, but my screen, they're not going to be able to see you because I need to keep the phone next to the mic. All right. Jeez. Let's see. Again, for those who missed the last live, my cousin Tiffany, thank you, Sir Vicente. My last live, I had my cousin Tiffany come on and sing for y'all. She's the real singer in the family. I don't know why I'll be thinking I'm the super vocalist. I just like to make music and do a little around the house type mess. But in my head, she's the singer. So I'm going to give her some time to shine. Also, those of you who listen to my station head, I don't know if Dana Monet is on tonight, but those of you who make music, if your music is on Spotify, like I said, every Monday at 7, I do Station Head. If your music is on Spotify, I can actually pull it and showcase it on my show. So I had a lot of people showcasing their music on Monday. So check that out. All right. Tiffany, you getting a call.
Hey, everybody.
Look at her being all ready on the first ring. Come on, cousin. All right.
I know. I have to be ready for the people.
See, she's ready at all times. I'm the one that be a scaredy cat. She be ready.
Ready. Listen, I do this all the time.
Yeah, she be everywhere.
I get started. I do have some very good friends of mine who joined your live for the first time. So I wanted to shout them out. I know that they're probably, I just texted them to tell them that I was coming on.
Hey, friends.
So one of my girls that's coming on, she had commented earlier. I think her name was the Brooklyn and Brandy Pinky Show. So if she isn't on yet, she should be coming on. I saw Lady B. I think she had reached out to me the last time. So hey Dina. So I see all of y'all. So I so appreciate y'all love. Yes, as far as Spotify, cousin, I should have told you. You know, I have a lot of music. Y'all know I do a lot of features for people. So I'm going to have to shoot you some of that music so that you can throw. Some of it is profane, you know. Okay. I just think the background vocals. But, you know, it's you know.
Look at black folks. We always got to shout out 10 people and bring their black in church. I like to give an honor to the pastor, the sister, the brother.
For real.
Yeah, you good.
I think Vintage must have read my mind. Vintage 101 said Donny Hathaway. So
that's what you talked about on the phone.
So I think that you really should give, do something for Vintage because Vintage shot it out. So I am actually going to do a little bit of this Christmas since that's kind of like a common one.
Okay, I'll just take the bottom. You take the lead.
Okay. So it goes.
I don't know how this is gonna sound because it's a mic in the phone. We'll make it work. Okay.
But if it doesn't, you know, I got it. So it goes. La 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 da 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 la 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 da 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 da. Hang all the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright.
Same.
And we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Let me try to bed.
Take a hand now. Okay, so this is the second verse. The presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the time they do. Oh, yeah,
this Christmas
is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah.
Come on, Tiffany. I love that girl.
Take a hand now. Merry Christmas all over the world. Oh, the fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special
Christmas for me.
Yeah, la 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 la.
Shake a hand, shake a hand.
La 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 la.
Amen. Amen. Go on, Tiffany.
I got you. So, what I'll probably do is, I'm gonna let you do the trivia, and if you want me to close out with one more, I'll close out with one more.
Okay, let's do that. So let me knock out some trivia, and then we'll
cool.
bring you back on.
And then we'll do our close out, because when I close out, I'm gonna close something a little bit more serious. I'm gonna do Someday at Christmas.
Oh, okay. Oh,
excuse me.
Someday at Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Boom.
Bye. Yeah, when she sings, I like to just listen because I really love her voice. So I don't even like trying to interrupt because I'm like, she don't even need my help. But okay, so first game we're gonna do is gonna be kind of fun. So what I've done is this. I do this with my kid, or I was doing this with my kids because like my center, it's all virtual and stuff now. And so this game is called like reversible. And what I've done is I have taken 12 songs, right? And I have reversed them. I'm going to play the song, and you guys have to guess what song it is. Now, some of the songs are current, some are throwback. All of them are either going to be R&B or they're going to be hip hop songs. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let me pull it up. And if they come off too hard, I'll give hints. Now, again, this is for $5. All right. And the first person who gets it correct is the person who gets, what it is. And I'll write down your Cash App, and then you'll probably get it before I go to bed tonight. Okay. Let's see what this first one is. Oh, okay. The hint I will give you guys, this is probably an easy one for some of you. All right. We ready? Let's hear it. This one's kind of easy. All right, I need the song and the artist. The song and the artist together. I need that. Y'all give me one or the other. I need both together in order to win. Boom, Nancy Drew. I got you. Laugh, don't cry. Nancy, message me on Twitter. Send me your Cash App. All right, next one. So it was Drake. Laugh now, cry later. A lot of you guys are saying Drake, but you got to put both in there. So just like Jeopardy, all right, you got to give me the artist and the song. Okay. All right, let's go to this one. All right, this is another current one. All right, this one's actually on the radio. Boom, Ishmael Woods. Yeah, that's Meg Thee Stallion body. Yeah, that sounds annoying, a bit backwards, huh? Ishmael, let me write. Ishmael, do me a favor and drop your Cash App. Also, Nancy Drew was nice enough to want to pass her money to somebody else. So let me go back and scroll back up, and whoever the second person was that had it, I'll give it to you instead. We about to be on here fighting over this $5. Oh, hell, that ain't what they said. Okay. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Nancy Drew was the first one I saw. The one that came after God's Plan. Lady T Oates. Okay. Lady T Oates. Yeah, send me your Cash App in the chat. Boom. Lady T Oates. Okay. And then did Ishmael post his? Dang, y'all are hitting these messages up. By the time I find all of y'all. Actually, you know what I'll do? Yeah, put yours in the Cash App. There's a live playback anyway, so after it goes live, I can just find you guys. I'll do it that way. So I'm gonna just write it on my phone, and you guys get Cash App once it goes live. Ishmael and then Lady Oates. Okay, next one. Okay, I say okay a lot, by the way. Okay, this one's a little bit more throwback. This is an R&B song. All right, are we ready? Let me scroll all the way to the bottom so my things are updated. Ishmael Woods. Boom, I see you. Okay. Oh, yeah, moderators, that'll help too if you can write down the Cash Apps for me too. I can see your comment a little bit easier. All right. All right, Miriam, you got that one. It was Mario. Let Me Love You. Um, I'm gonna double check this other one because I think Marcus Ware might have actually been first on the other one. I'll double check and clear that, make sure. So whoever got Mario, I got you, Miriam. I'm gonna write that one down. Next one. Oh, I'm gonna come back to that one because I like that song. All right, this one is throwback. This is for my older audiences, but you guys should still know the song anyway. Hopefully, I don't know how this one is gonna sound backwards. All right, how does this go? Let's see. Hold on, I can't do both of these. Hold on, I gotta hit you back. ML, I can't do both at the same time. All right. The hint is 70s. Miriam, send me an email at calvinmichaels@gmail.com and we can talk offline. Thank you, SF. You got it. Stevie Wonder, Higher Ground. Make sure you guys put the artist and the name first. SF, drop your Cash App for me, all right? Okay, let's see. Let's go to the next one. I love this song. All right, this one is throwback club banger from back in the day. It's probably something depending on when you were born. Your mama's was partying to this. All right, let me scroll some more. Oh, y'all got that quick. All right. It was Salt and Pepper Push It. The first comment I see is Miriam again. Let me scroll up and just make sure. Somebody said, what is Cash App? Cash App is like a app you can send money or receive money on. If you don't have Cash App and you get one correct, you can just shoot me an email. We'll come back and figure a different alternative, okay? Yeah, Miriam was the first one on that one as well. And then Giovanna, you almost had it, but Miriam had you like half a second before. Yeah, Push It. This y'all are quick. All right. This was supposed to be a 12-minute game. We about to be done with this in like 3 more minutes. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to kind of skip around years. All right. This one is like the hint is this is early 2000s. All right. And the other hint is that I'm not gonna tell the genre. I think it's obvious. The hint is this dance hall. Boom, Piano Kid, that's you. Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go. All right. Let's go to. I used to love that song too. They used to knock in middle school. All right. All right, let's see how this one goes. This would be interesting. This is late 90s R&B. Give me the song and the title. All right, Avocado Queen, I'm gonna give you that. It's Janet, I Get Lonely. I'll give you that. For those who don't do Cash App, again, my email, because some of you are asking, hit me calvinmichaels@gmail.com. All right. And then let's see. Which one did I skip? I'm gonna do a few more and then we're gonna go to trivia. Okay. This is another throwback. This is like old school throwback though. All right. At least I know that y'all know I Get Lonely. I take it. Okay. I will go back. Also, by the way, when this goes live, I'll go back and double check the live chat to make sure the order is right. So just in case, it's supposed to all be in the correct order according to what YouTube told me when I looked at the little thing before I planned to do this. All right. This one might be a little harder. 1980. Dang, Miriam. Okay, ears. You got that. Yeah, Michael Jackson rock with you. Y'all are quick. Dana, you almost had that one too. All right, let's see. That was a hard one. I couldn't figure that out when I first played it back. I was like, what is that? Let me see if I have any other okay, let me do another current one because y'all, some of you young kids are getting pissed off in the comment section. Okay, I'm not even gonna give a hint for this one because I think this one's obvious. Boom, Clarissa Smith. It is Roddy Ricch, The Box. Okay, Clarissa Smith. Drop your Cash App. Shoot me an email. All right. Let me just make sure if I skipped any of these. Okay, let's keep going. All right. This is mid 2000s R&B. This one's kind of easy. Alan, you got it, bruh. Neo, So Sick. By the way, when this is all said and done, all of you can drop your Cash Apps. I'm not giving to all of y'all, but I just randomly might pick a few people in the mix. Just that's my Christmas gift to some of y'all for supporting me. All right. Let's do one. Actually, we'll do two more. All right. This is late 90s R&B. This one's kind of easy. Look at y'all dropping them Cash Apps. Y'all ain't even answering the questions no more. Boom, Miriam. It is Whitney. My love is your love. All right. Let's do one last one. I'm gonna switch gears here. All right. This is another R&B. This is early 2000s. These are kind of difficult to hear. It's like you really gotta like listen to like random inflections and hope that's what you can catch. This is kind of easy. All right, give me the song and the artist together. You got to give me both. Get it together. Wade M. Jr., you got it. Tony Braxton, he wasn't man enough. Good job, guys. That was fun. All right. Okay, that was fun, you guys. So, like I said, those of you who got it correct, I'll come back and double check the live stream after this uploads and then make sure I get in contact with you guys. Those of you who don't do Cash App that got something correct, hit my email, calvinmichaels@gmail.com. All right, some actual trivia, folks. I have actually I got me a nice little set of questions. Oh, actually, you can hit me on Instagram. That's easier. Hit me on Instagram. Give me a beat. GIMMIEABEAT. All right. Okay. For some additional trivia. All right. The subjects are some are sports, some are music, some are Black history, some are general history, some is like geography type stuff. This is how I be keeping my kids engaged. It's hard to keep people engaged on Zoom and stuff all day. All right. Next question. Question number 1. This is a sporting event that is held every year on Memorial Day. What is it? What is the name of the event? Not the sport, but you got to tell me the actual event. All right. Sporting event held every year on Memorial Day. One of the hints I can give is that a lot of times the crowds are usually along the lines of close to almost 100,000 people. Also, you're going to need to be able to maneuver a large multi-ton item. It's a specific event. It's held in Indiana. All right, y'all starting to name the boom. Dina Newton, Indy 500. Good job. All right, this is a fun question. Number 2. So Dina Newton, remember that. These are also Cash App questions, by the way as well. Okay. Look at me acting like I'm rich. Like I ain't got my rent to pay at the end of the month. Number 2. How many seasons was the sitcom A Different World on television for? How many seasons? How many seasons? A Different World. The best seasons were after the first one. Marcus Ware 6. Yep. All right. Okay. Y'all on it. Y'all on it. Okay. I see y'all watch some TV. Okay. Marcus Ware got that one. Shout out to Howard. Oh, this will be interesting. Okay, number 3. What was the name of Usher's 2014 World Tour? Not 2004, 2008, but I want the name of the 2014 World Tour. Usher Raymond. Those who are saying that they were before somebody, I'll go back and double check. Whatever YouTube prints out as the live when the chat is republished, we'll have it all cleared up. And again, the chat's lagging for all of us because I'm seeing y'all later. Not syphilis, y'all. You know what? Alan, yes, the UR experience. It was actually a really good show too. I got to go to it. That was the tour that August Alsina opened up on. All right. Oh, this would be interesting. Okay, this is another sports one. What is the only team in the NFL to neither host, and mind you, we're still beefing with the NFL, but for the sake of this trivia, I'm gonna still ask the question. What is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in the Super Bowl? Okay, what is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in the Super Bowl? Oh, y'all saying everything out here. No. Boom. Philly Roja, Cleveland Browns. You are correct. Drop the cash app. All right. Next one. Let's actually get into something with a bit more substance. All right. What state is Medgar Evers from? Bonus points if you can give me the city that he was born in. Medgar Evers. Where is he from? Or where was he from? And okay, boom, Ishmael Woods, Mississippi. Bonus points for the city of Mississippi. I should have had like some background theme music while I do this. I feel like we're taking a test. Y'all got Mississippi, but I need a town. It's not Biloxi. There's a city in Georgia by the same name. That's a hint. Boom. Eddie Lamar Davis, Decatur, Mississippi. Good job. Okay. I think this is the last sports question I wrote down. How many seasons did Michael Jordan play with the Chicago Bulls before going and joining the Washington Wizards? How many seasons was he with the Bulls before joining the Washington Wizards? I don't see it yet. Let me scroll. I don't see it yet. It was Wayne Mills. Yes, 13. All right. 13 seasons. Let me scroll up and make sure I didn't skip nobody. Yep, 13. That's what's on my live. So boom. Okay. Let's keep it moving. I know the niggas was hurting by that 13th season. Like, all right, I'm tired of this crap. This is a music question. What was the name? And by the way, in this definition, when I'm talking studio albums, that means an album that they went and recorded, not a remix album, not a live album, not a compilation. They went in the studio, released a body of work. Okay. What is the name of the 6th studio album from Mary J. Blige? Mary J., her 6th studio album. What's up, Chris V? Mary J., 6th studio album. It had 3 singles released. I know you didn't say no on the 6th. That is J-Lo. We ain't doing that. Chris V, yep. Mary J., Love and Life. Good job. Love and Life album. That's the one with Could It Be Love and Ooh and It's a Wrap. Those were the singles. All right. Oh, I guess I did have one more sports question. Okay. What year did the players go on strike in? Hold on. Let me rephrase this. I don't like how I wrote that. All right. In the MLB, what year did players go on strike, resulting in there not being a World Series? All right. There was a certain year, all the Major League Baseball players felt some kind of way and they went on strike, and there was no World Series that year. What year was that? Boom, Ishmael Woods again, 1994. It's a dope year. All right. This is another music question. Number 10. What year was LaFace Records created? LaFace Records. This is the label for Usher, TLC, Tony, Jamie and Dane. Who else was on there? There was a lot. Pink was on there later down the line. Somebody got it. Hold on, y'all talking fast. Somebody got it. Ariana Thompson. Good job. Drop your cash app in there. Okay. This is an interesting one. In 1871, if you're from here, you better get this right, I swear. In 1871, most of this city burned down after a barn fire that spread. And really what caused a lot of it was because a lot of the buildings, the infrastructure was wooden and they really weren't doing cedar block. And so, yeah, a lot of the city burned down. And magically, they were actually able to pretty much rebuild most of the city in 2 years. 1871. Jasmine Foster, good job. It was Chicago. Good job. All right, number 12. This is geography. I'm going to let the answers keep filling up some. All right. Where would I find Mount Etna? What country would I find Mount Etna in? If you follow me, this should come off rather easy if you've heard about my journey in life and places that I've been or lived. Clay D, good job. It is in Italy. Good job. I be saying good job like y'all are my kids. Good job. Good job. Go on in and get you a snack. All right. Number 13. In 1837, this became the first HBCU in the United States. In 1837. First HBCU. Y'all are quick on some of these. Wade M. Jr. It was Cheney University of Pennsylvania. It was initially a Black institute, and then they changed the name. I forgot what they changed it to, and then they changed it like 2-3 more times, and then boom, it became Cheney University of Pennsylvania. Good job. Speaking of HBCUs, now we talked about this on the last live, so if y'all are paying attention, somebody should get this really quick. Number 14. This school has recently been reaccredited. This is an HBCU that was once closed. Or not really closed, but they were operating with no accreditation. So it was pretty much inoperable, pretty much. All right. Boom. Good job. Kelly McRae. Good job. Morris Brown. Remember, I gave that whole story about Drumline. All right. Number 15. If I find myself in the city of Kumasi, what country am I in? If I find myself in the city of Kumasi, what country am I in? Veronica Wang, yes, you are in the country of Ghana. Good job, y'all. All right. Number 16. Which city in New Mexico is named after a game show? We talked about this on another live before, so if you've been watching other lives, it should come really easy. One of the hints is that this game show was on the air between 1940 and 1988, on and off. A town in New Mexico named after a game show. And this thing is lagging. Some of my answers are still coming in from the last question. Oh, wow. Piano Kid, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. You are correct. I forgot what the original name of the town was, but they had like a whole campaign and the people voted and they decided that's what they wanted the town to be called. So yes, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Oh, this is a fun one. This is a music question. So music heads, this should be fun. This artist closed the 2016 BET Awards. It's actually one of my favorite performances from that entire BET Awards series out of all of the awards shows. They closed the 2016 BET Awards. Lots of instrumentation and some really great singing and a really kick-ass band. No, Janet Jackson actually, I don't think has ever. Oh, she did the BET Awards in 2004, but no. Prince was no longer here. Ori Ebon. It was Sheila E. Yeah, Sheila E was the closer. Good job. I love that performance. If you go and watch that on YouTube, she ate that. That whole band, the arrangement, it was really, really dope. I really enjoyed that. And that was the perfect karma because if you remember, the lady that was from Four Non Blondes had made this whole speech about why Sheila E didn't need to close it because they needed somebody more relevant, and it was in defense of the backlash that Madonna got for doing the Prince tribute. And pretty much, I guess Sheila E had said something, and her response was, "Well, you need somebody relevant." And I was like, "That don't mean you get Madonna to do a Prince tribute. That's not even that don't even go together. The men's don't meet." All right, two more. This is another music one. Actually, three more. This is actually literature. What was the name of Toni Morrison's first book that was released? If you watch my live, we've talked about that as well. Linda Perry, thank you, Lady T.O. That's who said the comment about Sheila E. But Toni Morrison's first book, not Beloved, that's one of her most acclaimed, but no, that wasn't the first one. Good job, Spoken Wisdom 01. The Bluest Eye. It's also, I feel like that book is a hard read the first time you read it, because once you understand that you're reading it through the concept of a little girl, then you're like, okay, it makes sense. Because when I first read it, I kept turning the pages back and starting over, like, what am I? Okay. Then when I realized how I was like, oh, this is actually clever. Okay, this is creative. So yeah, The Bluest Eye. Rest in peace, Toni Morrison. Last two questions. And they're both going to be somewhat related to music. What originally was supposed to be the name for the group SWV? Hey, sincerely, Ariel. The original name for the group SWV. Lady Oates. Yes, it was TLC. All right. And it was just supposed to be named after them, like Taj, Lily, Coco. But there was another group who already had the name, because remember, both of them kind of came out around the same time. SWV came out a few months before, and then boom, there was TLC. All right. Last one. Okay, this will be interesting. Michael Jackson partnered with LA Gear in 1990 to release this sneaker. What was the name of the sneaker? By the way, if I missed some of you guys out, don't worry. I'm going to go back and check the live chat and see how it was published on YouTube, because it may be published different. But they told me that everybody was going to be getting the same chat. So somebody in here lying. All right. It wasn't Jordan's. It wasn't Moonwalkers either. That's what I thought it was called. It was not Moonwalkers. You would have thought it would have been called Moonwalkers. No Name Face. You are correct. It was called Billie Jean. I thought that was interesting. You would have thought he would have named it Moonwalkers. That would have been dope. But the shoes never really caught on. They were released in 1990 with LA Gear. They did some promo shots. Those are probably one of the few times you'll ever see Michael Jackson not in penny loafers. And so, it wasn't a good campaign. Nobody bought the shoes. Then there was a lawsuit. They sued Michael for like $47 million because they felt he didn't do enough to promote. So he sued them back, and it was chaos. And then after all of that, LA Gear went in bankruptcy in 98. So there's that. Okay, that was fun, guys. So like I said, you can sporadically, randomly just drop cash out during the rest of this. I'm not going to give all of y'all something because I ain't got it like that. But I will randomly pick a few folks just to also donate to. And then everybody who got something right in the trivia, your names are already in there. Some of you, I've been getting your Instagram messages. So cool. I'll make sure that I go back and get everybody. And we'll go from there. Tiffany, you still on? We can do a few random questions before I wrap for the last bit. Tiffany is still on. If you're ready, I'll let you take it away, and then we can chop it up after she's finished and call it a day. Oh, look, she's calling me. Ready. See, this is how your team is supposed to be. The people are ready. Good job.
That's how you do it.
Hey.
All right, y'all. So y'all know this has been trying times for 2020. And so this song is probably one of the most sentimental Christmas songs that I have ever sang before. So grab your tissues, y'all. I'm going to try to get through this. But I thought it was befitting for everything that's been going on in the world. It's really serious. Again, shout out to all of my girls, Candace, Brandy, Tora. They all kind of support me. So love y'all. All right. So this song is called Someday at Christmas. Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. One warm December, our hearts will see a world where men are free. Someday at Christmas, there'll be no wars when we have learned what Christmas is for. When we have found what life's really worth, there'll be peace on earth. Someday at Christmas, all your dreams will come to be. Someday in a world where men are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas, we'll see a land with no hungry children and no empty hands. One happy morning, people will share a world where people care. Whoa, someday at Christmas, there'll be no tears. When all men are equal and no people have fears. One shining moment, one prayer away from our world today. Someday our dreams will come to be. Someday in a world where people are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas, men will not fall. Hate will be gone and love will prevail. Someday a new world that we can start with hope in every heart. Yeah, yeah. Someday in a world where men are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Someday at Christmas time. Someday in a world where men are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but someday at Christmas time. Yes, someday at Christmas time.
All right, man. I was like, I was about to see if you was gonna modulate one more time. I'm like, damn, Tiffany, how you about to go? That's how you do it. Lord, I was like, I was getting nervous. I'm like, is she still go that high?
Well, I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to do too much, y'all.
She didn't want to do too much.
It's kind of emotional, y'all.
That's good. True story, by the way. She gave me my first piano lessons when I moved back from Italy because our grandma had a piano in the den, and so those first early chords teaching, like she who taught me how to do like all the C's and everything. So it's kind of interesting. You have some music. Are you still on Spotify and stuff?
Yes, right, I am Spotify. If y'all are looking for me, it is TiffanyMichele. So Tiffany Michelle. So y'all can find me. I have a Spotify. I have music on. Gosh, I got music everywhere on all digital platforms. So yeah. So y'all follow me. I got some gospel. I do a lot of background vocals for hip hop artists. So y'all will see some other stuff out there. But I do a little bit of everything. So I just love to sing. And you know it runs in the family because because we be doing our thing.
She be doing her thing. I'm all right. But yeah, yes, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I love you, cousin. Love you, everybody. Y'all have a blessed day. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Love you too. Take care. Thank you.
All right.
One other thing, like if you guys remember, I told you guys like my cousin Michaela, that's her mother. My cousin, actually, I got a picture here. I told you this is the cousin I had that passed in the summer, little Michaela. And so that's actually her mother. And like Tiffany actually sang at Michaela's funeral. You like, do you know how strong you'd have to be to sing at your own child's funeral? There was not a dry eye up in there. I was like, man, I thought I was good. Soon as she opened her mouth, I was like, dang, and I don't like people to see me cry, so I turned all in the seat and trying to play it cool. I was like, Lord. Little Michaela, she was 22. Bless her heart. But okay, so we're pretty much wrapping for tonight. I can do a few more little random questions and then we're gonna call it a night. I know some of you were asking. Oh, I do need to promote, by the way. Eleanor, I don't know if Eleanor's on tonight. But she did feature me on her podcast. It was a conversation about Soul Train Awards and music. Let me pull it up. I want to give you the title of the podcast. Where's it at? So I was on her podcast the other day, so definitely check her out. She's really, really cool, by the way. Eleanor. Where's dang, I got so many people on here. Look, y'all be blowing up my inbox. Eleanor, where are you at? I just want to make sure I have the right name of the podcast. So the podcast is called Cherish the Soul Entertainment. And so you can follow her at ms.eleanor and then Smith. And then it has the link to the podcast episode. So you can definitely check her out. Also, like I said, Mondays we're on Stationhead. I like Stationhead because I can actually play music. And again, if you actually have music, this is the perfect opportunity for you to have your stuff highlighted. I can add you into my rotation. And so, boom. All right. And yeah, we'll do a few more questions and then I need to wrap because actually I'm supposed to work at 7 tomorrow. Unfortunately, pisses me off. Does she have a song called My God Is? If that's Tiffany, yes, she does. That is her song. Yes. Tiffany Michelle. All right, we're gonna wrap. There's a lot of singers in this chat. Actually, that'll be fun. And honestly, like I told you guys with Station Head, people can call in, but we might have to have a whole little singing showcase. Just let a whole bunch of people call in and have a field day. That'd be fun. Anyway, a few other announcements. The Usher documentary is supposed to come out on the 30th. Supposed to. So we'll see how we get. That editing is kicking my behind right now. And then the shout out series, the episode 3 comes out on Saturday. Episode 4 is supposed to come out the week after that. Like I said, there were so many of you guys, I couldn't fit everybody into one. Oh, look, hey, BB was just asking the same question. So the small bit, that's the shout out, the small business mentions you're talking about. That's on Saturday. It'll probably come out Saturday evening. And then boom, that's everything. So we're about to wrap, but we can hang for a few minutes and then I'm gonna call it a night to get me some rest. Okay, Alan, I got you on that. Happy birthday, who? Daisy. Okay, happy birthday. We're glad you're still here. Amen. Every birthday is something, whatchamacallit, is a blessing and then some. Oh, man. I haven't had dinner again. This is like the second live in a row where we did one and I did not eat beforehand. So I'm going to be all pissed off going to bed hungry or I have to eat something light. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, we had fun on the Station Head. Dana Monet, one of the subscribers, ended up on and we played her song and then she got to kind of chat on the call as well. Chris V, definitely, I'll add your stuff into our Station Head as well. All right, we're about to wrap. Yeah. This was fun, guys. Again, I'm gonna go back and double check the live threads to make sure that if anybody accidentally got skipped in the trivia, I will make sure you get what is supposed to come to you. Yeah. Anyway, this was cool, you guys. I don't want to promise anything. If we can, we might try to squeeze. Actually, I'm not going to announce that. I'll save that for later. Station Head, yes, Marlon, it's an app. Right now, it's only working on iPhone. It's not really working on Android, but you can enjoy it on web browser. So you can play it on like Google Chrome and everything. And then you definitely want to have your Spotify synced to it because otherwise, every time I stop talking and play a song, you won't hear anything. And so, boom. Station Head is pretty dope. Sync your Spotify to it, and then even with it, you guys can even put in like song requests while we're doing the show. And again, like I said, Mondays at 7, and there's some other really cool shows on there as well. So I don't know everybody's names on the shows yet, so I'll have to shout them out on the next one. All right, guys, I need to go to bed. I'm a little sleepy. I'm tired. My head hurts. I'm so glad y'all were here. I didn't know how we were gonna do 2 lives in the same month, but we did it. Who do I get my Hal? Just if those of you who did a question or whatever, just drop your Cash Apps. Also, if you haven't dropped yours yet, this is probably the perfect time to do it before I click in stream. So drop your Cash Apps. Some of you might be getting something. No guarantee, but it's the thought that counts. All right. I appreciate this. Thank you, Tyler. I do need to get some rest because, man. All right, guys. This was dope. Stay safe. Again, this is not the end for 2020. I still have some other videos for y'all, but I don't know if we'll have another live before then. So, what's up, Eleanor? See you guys. Take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay sane. Hopefully they give people these stimulus checks. People really need them, right? All right. This was fun. Thanks again, Tiffany. Everybody who participated in the trivia, thank y'all for being good sports. It's really hard to do a live stream with, like, I think when we started the trivia, it was like 600 people playing. So yeah, that's chaos. So thanks, guys. All right. I'm out. Stay safe. Good night.